Hey, good afternoon. Are y'all ready? Well, we let this fellow finish up his, cell phone call. He's, yeah, he had to check in with his wife on where dinner was or if dinner was still there. Y'all ready over there yet?
Okay, we're good.
Well, we're having a good day.
Political call. Can you guarantee these are going to end in the next 2 hours?
Okay. Are we all ready?
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Well, where we are right now, it looks like we've just gone over the million mark for today. And lines are relatively short. In fact, I voted first thing this morning in Johns Creek High School. There's about 12 to 15 people in front of me. I got there at 6:45, and I was out by 7:07. So it just really moved very quickly. And I think that's what voters are seeing. The longest wait time we saw recently was in Coweta County. It was a 30-minute wait. We saw a few 30 minutes in Cherokee, one in Fulton, things like that. But relatively, you've seen people are progressing, through there. All the precincts are open today. What I would tell voters is that right now you have 3 hours to get out there. The lines are moving quickly. The average wait time right now is about 3 minutes. And once you get there and check in, it's about 47 seconds. So no one has any excuse not to get out there to vote. Campaigns, drive your, call, make sure you get your people out to vote because, like I said, right now we're seeing the turnout is light but steady. We're pushing over 110,000 voters per hour in the state of Georgia. So we're just, processing it here, and everyone has the opportunity to vote, and we're encouraging everyone. You got 3 hours right now to get out to vote. Any questions?
Yeah, when Gabe was here about an hour ago, he talked about the future of runoffs, said your office might be open to a discussion. Can you tell us what you think about runoffs and whether there should be a discussion about changing the way we do it or getting rid of them at all?
Well, I think there should be a discussion. You have to understand, 4 years ago, I was in a runoff, but we didn't have the same issues. It was a 4-week runoff, when I was there 4 years ago. So that was a state runoff. But what we didn't have then is we did not have the verifiable paper ballot. We didn't require the counties to do an audit of a race. And so when you start throwing in that risk limiting audit after the general, and then you also throw in all the other issues that you have, it just gets to be an awful lot. So there's a lot of different options that they could look at. I think at the end of the day, that's something that we would encourage the General Assembly to take a look at. But there's lots of options, lots of different ideas, and I think let it go through the committee process. As the late speaker used to always say, as it goes through the committee process, the bill would be perfected. But that's something we might need to look at just because it puts an awful lot of burden from the standpoint of election management.
And so you would support
There's
some sort of change?
Yeah, there's lots of different ideas, and so that's already been talked about that. Some people have talked about the instant runoff idea, which actually has worked tremendously well for the UOCAVA, overseas military ballots. So that's worked well. And other people said, well, years ago if you had over 45%, then a plurality, then you would avoid the runoff. So there could be things that we need to look at, but I do understand the burden it's been placing on some of the counties. Okay.
When Dave was here earlier, he mentioned only 3 places with lines even over 20 minutes. Has that been holding?
Yeah, pretty much. When you look on our leaderboard, but we're not tracking every single county on that, so we check in to see where it was. And we just heard that in Coweta County, they had one that was at 30 minutes. And I know a few hours ago we had a couple in Fulton, and we had, I think, one in Cherokee County that were about 30 minutes also. But by and large, the voters are moving through there. Everything is less than an hour, and that's a requirement of SB 202 to keep those lines short. Yes, sir.
There were reports earlier whether groups were going to be home, groups were going to be outside polling places. Have you heard any reports of anything of that nature, and then any prediction on when we may hear the outcome of the?
We haven't had any kind of armed groups or militia or anything like that. We didn't have that in the fall. We're really grateful for the people of Georgia. I noticed recently Twitter put out there, they did a kind of a polling of kindness, and Georgia came out #1. And so it's just good that people here, we know how to be respectful to each other, even though we may have differences in our politics.